Wanted to quickly work on some logarithm related questions. So I wanted to show you something with e to the power of x or any value. So suppose if you get a question like solve e to the power of x is equal to 2, as and when you see e, you have to always remember the logarithm what you will be working on will be ln. So what you do is like you put ln on both the sides, or maybe you can work with the formula for logarithms, which is on the top right on the formula book. Or if I put ln, I can write this as ln e to the power of x is equal to ln 2. And you have to remember that ln and e will get cancelled with each other. So I can write this as x is equal to ln 2. And you can put this into the calculator and get the value. Okay. Suppose if you have another question like solve e to the power of x is equal to minus 4. Again, the same thing, ln e to the power of x is equal to ln minus 4. And you have to remember logarithm of a minus number, you don't have a solution. So you have to write this that there's no solution. So whenever you get a negative number, you have to write explicitly that there is no solution for this one. Okay, suppose if you want to work with questions like solve e to the power of x minus 5 plus 6 e to the power of minus x is equal to 0. So with practice, you should be able to recognize that you have e to the power of x here and e to the power of minus x, which are somewhat similar. How is it similar? We can write this as e to the power of x minus 5 plus 6 over e to the power of x. So a to the power of minus p is equal to 1 by a to the power of p, rules of indices. Now, when you see similar terms in an equation, always you have to remember substitution. So you will substitute it with some value. So in this case, I will substitute it as y is equal to e to the power of x. So then the equation will become y minus 5 plus 6 by y is equal to 0. Now it is simple simplification. So you will get this as y square minus 5y plus 6 over y is equal to 0, and y will get multiplied by 0, that will become 0. So you can write this as y square minus 5y plus 6 is equal to 0. You factorize this, you will get y minus 3, y minus 2 is equal to 0, and then this is equal to y is equal to 3, y is equal to 2. Now remember, y is the variable which you introduce, so this is not yet solved here. What you have to do is like you have to substitute it back to e to the power of x. So you'll have to write this e to the power of x is equal to 3, here e to the power of x is equal to 2. Then you will do ln e to the power of x is equal to ln 3, and x is equal to ln 3. This is the answer here. Here again, ln e to the power of x is equal to 2. So ln 2. So x is equal to ln 2. So these are the two solutions for x. So most of the people stop with this, but please don't stop, because you introduce a variable, you have to solve it and bring it back to the original variable which it already has. Now, one important thing which you have to remember when it comes to logarithm and indices is most of the times the questions which will be asked are application type questions, which are a little more complex than these kind of direct questions which we saw. So suppose if you have some questions like mostly you will be asked about bacterial growth or the principal interest or the population growth and things like that. So what you have to do is like suppose if you take a question of maybe bacterial growth. Okay, suppose you have something like the bacterial growth is equal to 100 e to the power of kt. Please remember, during leaving cert they will not give you straightforward numbers like this. They will give you numbers which are little more difficult, so you have to be conscious enough saying that mostly the questions will be like 324.5627 e to the power of k, and t will be 0.0034 t or something like that. So your conscious mind should be able to interpret this and say that okay, it is similar to something which I have already learned, because these numbers is something which you haven't seen. You shouldn't get confused with that. So what I really recommend you to do is like whenever you get something like this, we can form a small one, maybe like 3 e to the power of k 4t or something like that. Then it'll become much clearer for you on what process need to be done, whether you need to do some differentiation or logarithm or anything. You will get this, and so it becomes pretty easy for you to work with the exam questions. Okay, so for the time being, I just wanted to show you something simple here so that we learn it and then you go into the difficult question. So there is a question, suppose if you have, they're saying that there's a number of bacteria present in this culture, and if there are something around 5287 bacteria present after 30 minutes. Okay, find K. That's the question. Okay, so they're saying that these many bacteria is present after 13 minutes. So what I know is like bacteria will be 5287 is equal to 100 e to the power of K times 13. So this is the equation which I will form here after from this question. Now I can just simply write this as 5287 is equal to 100 e to the power of 13k. Now whenever you have e, you have to remember that you have to put a log, but you should put a log with only this in one side. Okay, so you should not immediately go and put log here saying that ln 100 e to the power of 13k. This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay, so what you should do is you should bring this 100 this side first. So what you will do is like 5287 divided by 100 is equal to e to the power of 13k. Now you have e only on one side, then you can put log. So what you will do is like ln 5287 divided by 100 is equal to ln e to the power of 13k. Now ln and e will get cancelled, so 13k is equal to ln 5287 divided by 100, and k will be equal to ln 5287 divided by 100. You can simplify this, okay, divided by 13 and you will get the value. So these kind of questions are quite common in the living search. So please um, understand this, learn these kind of questions, how to solve this question. Always it is the log which will come into picture. So try to learn how to apply the logs, try some sample questions from the exam, from the textbook, and get a hang of this topic.